I'm pretty excited to do this particular crypto video today. ICP, Internet Computer. I'm going to show you how you can purchase other projects built on ICP. There are many of them. You've probably heard of them. And I'll show you why. And sometimes you can get them on other exchanges. Sometimes you can't. But I'm going to walk you through step by step. This is going to be a very simplistic and quick way of being able to purchase those other projects. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Why am I doing this one? Well, I like ICP. It's in my portfolio. I always try to stay transparent. And I have some of the projects built on ICP. And a lot of people may not know how to obtain them. So we're going to show you exactly how to do that. I have to say my disclaimer. I'm a big dumb animal. Don't do what I do. Small lizard brain. And informational purposes only. If you watch my videos, you know I may not be the most exciting person, but I try to be concise and clear, and sometimes I talk a little slow, but hopefully it gets the point across. Why am I doing this video? Like I said, I want people to understand how to get ICP stuff, but I did a video 2 days ago on ICP, and the views blew up compared to my other videos. Still not a lot of views. Oh, I crossed 5,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. If you would, like and subscribe this video. Subscribe so that you can get my future ones. I also have a school community down below where if you want to talk to me or get some of my courses where I go in depth to do all sorts of things, that's why I put that community together. We talk about crypto on a daily basis, but we also have courses and I'm updating them all the time and adding new ones so that you can learn how to do everything in crypto because I really believe this is the future. Back to that video. Compared to my other videos, it tenfolded the views very fast. Lots of comments. So I said, wow, obviously that's telling me, as you can probably see, I'm really handsome. People watched it and they were like, oh my gosh, I have to send this to all my friends. This guy's gorgeous. Or the second, less viable alternative is that a lot of people are interested in ICP. They search for it. They want to learn about it. And it's got a great community behind it. I really think it's the former, but in case it's the latter, I put together this video. Now, what's really interesting about ICP, let's just talk about it briefly. In a nutshell, if you're not familiar, they call it the Internet Computer because they believe, or they do, have the ability so that you can build whatever it is, applications, you name it, all on chain. And it's in what they call a canister. And you might think, what in the world are you talking about? Well, I've talked about my background before. I've been through and had many startup companies. My very first one that I actually raised money for and hired a bunch of people was pre-dot-com bubble. One interesting thing was we had to have people. I had at least, out of the first 30 people we hired, at least 2 were infrastructure. What does that mean? Well, we have our applications, our internet applications. People could come. We had a mall where you could shop. We had email servers to send out newsletters and stuff. Long time ago when these third-party systems didn't exist. What am I getting at? Well, we had to put our software onto servers. We had to take those servers. We had to rent space in a physical building. We had to go rent what they call a rack, and each server had a certain size. We call it a pizza box, or a 1U was the height of it, and it would slide into the rack, or a 2U or 3U or whatever. And then as more people came to the site, we had to put more servers. We had to get a load balancer. Most of you are saying, what the heck are you talking about? Well, nowadays, all of that's done for you. If you talk to someone, they're not going to drive. I literally had to physically drive to a building, get checked in, put servers in, that sort of thing. If something went wrong, someone had to go back and fix them. What do you do now? You just get online and, I don't know, spin up an AWS server or go to some cloud system. It's just all handled for you. The site doesn't go down. Our site would go down. We'd be like, oh my gosh, we thought 7 servers and a load balancer was enough. It wasn't to handle our peak people. So anyway, all of that infrastructure and things that used to have to be done no longer has to be done. That's why I think Internet Computer is so amazing, because it's taking out a lot of that stuff you used to have to do. I can't imagine if now I started up a new company and went to a VC and said, here's my business plan. Here's my 3 years worth of financials. Don't get me into 3 years worth of financials. Why they do that. I know why they do it, but it's stupid because startup company, you're never going to match your 3 years. If your first year of financials matches what you actually do, that's amazing. But if I could go in and say, you know what, I no longer have to hire hardware people to run all this stuff because we're just going to use someone else's third-party service, that is incredible to take those sort of things that are just completely useless. What do I mean? I'm going off on a tangent, but I think if you've got ICP or you don't, I want you to understand the power of it. If I was running an organization to provide meals for the homeless, and I had a group of people that got ingredients and a group of people that cooked and a group of people that went out and gave the meals to the homeless, that's awesome. But if I had 6 people sitting in a room filling out paperwork all day, that stinks. Because I could take those 6 people and do 2 on ingredients, 2 more on cooking, and 2 more and feed a lot more people, but I can't because they're stuck in that room. That's what something like this is doing. It's taking a business and taking those extremely inefficient things. Like, we got to go down, we got to go log in, get checked in, we got to fix this server because something's wrong. That is just redundant and dumb, and it's something that you shouldn't have to deal with. So if you can take inefficient things out and make any business more efficient, and now instead of feeding 100,000 homeless a day, I'm feeding 150,000, that's awesome. ICP, everything on chain. It's secure because it's on chain, theoretically. Let's just say that it is. So you don't have to worry about security. It's decentralized. So if I were to do all of this through a company and that company says, you know what, I don't like you, and they just cut off my service, I'm done. It's decentralized. It's on chain. No one can take you down. Again, theoretically. But security, on chain, and you don't have to do any of that maintenance or anything to keep that sucker up and running. ICP is amazing. Okay, that's my rant. It went on too long. You probably fast forwarded. That's okay. So let's walk through the basics of how you can get some. Well, essentially, Internet Computer, you go to, I'm going to have 3 links down below. The first one is to this site. Let me pull it up here. Internet identity. You create an internet identity. It says create internet identity. Takes 2 seconds, real simple. Once you have that, you use that to interact, and I'm going to show you 2 other sites. First is what they call their network nervous system. You don't have to go here or use it in order to buy tokens. I just want to explain why you might want to take a look. You click, you log in. Let's go to the NNS. I think it kicks you out every now and then, which is good. Yeah, sign in. Let me sign in real quick. All right, once you sign in, there's basically 3 things you can do here. What's nice is you start off on this little portfolio. I don't have anything in here at the moment, but you go over to tokens. First, what's nice about this is that you can see all the different projects on ICP. So when you stake tokens, you can earn additional tokens in return, but you have to lock them up for a period of time. You might hear people talking about, I've locked up ICP for this many years, and I received this much ICP in return. And then you also get what's called neurons. When you receive the neurons, you can use them to vote. So first, you can stake things and earn more. Then you can go in, and if you're interested in any one of these projects, and you can see what they might have that you can vote on. You can see all past proposals and then actionable proposals, if there are any. You may want to vote, you may not even care. But what is interesting is not only is it you can see all the projects, which I think is great, because sometimes you'll say, where are all the projects built on ICP? How do you find them? Here's a great way to do it. Log into the NNS. This is really cool. It's the launch pad. Think of it as being able to invest in a startup company. When a new project wants to launch on ICP, there aren't any at the moment, but you can see the previous launches you could have gotten in when they first launched, and hopefully the price went up from there. Okay, so that's the NNS, and you can't purchase them in here, but you can send them from an exchange over here. For example, if we click into Internet Computer and you click it again, it'll give you a send and a receive address. One point in time, I sent in and out some money. You click receive, it gives you the address, and you use that. Okay, so that's it for the NNS. You may or may not be interested, but if you just want to buy some tokens, I'll show you how to do that with ICPSwap. Now, why not just go to Coinbase and buy these projects? Because they're not available there. Why are they not available there? Well, if I show you this list on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, you can see the top exchanges. They call them, I'm looking at the spot exchanges, meaning you're going to buy, not futures, you're just going to buy that particular crypto. Notice Binance is number 1 in terms of volume, Bybit, there's Coinbase. But here, coins, Binance, 500 coins, that's it. Bybit, 728. Now you may think that's a lot. But if you go to the main page of CoinMarketCap and you scroll down, there's 100 on the main page. And then at the bottom, I think there's almost 100 more pages, which is 10,000 coins. However, you can only do 500 at Binance, 700 Bybit, 300 Coinbase. Now I use those, but also you scroll down, you got to get down to MEXC. I like MEXC as well to get over 2,000 coins. Now, let's look at real quick 2 projects. One is called DecideAI, DCD. It's one of those on ICP that you can see. DCD's in here. There it is, Decide. And then there's another one I want to look at, ICPanda. You may have heard of these 2. There it is right there. Okay, where can you purchase them? Well, we go to DecideAI. You scroll down, you look at the markets. It is on MEXC. I went in, I saw it. But other than that, it's just on ICPSwap. And it's on these 2 other smaller ones. If you go to ICPanda and you scroll down, we go to markets, it's only on ICPSwap. So these are much smaller market cap. They're a little more difficult to obtain in terms of liquidity because they're not on a lot of exchanges. So whether or not you want to get into these, totally up to you. But to get them, here's what you do. We go over to ICPSwap. I'm already logged in, but normally the homepage is like this. You click launch. It takes you here. There'll be a button up here to log in using that identity. So I know I've talked about a lot of things, but now you understand that you can't get it on a lot of these exchanges. So therefore you get it through here. You get it by taking ICP and swapping it for something else. That's what this swap is. Now, before we do that, let me explain something. Up here is a little, looks like a wallet. You click it and it shows you the tokens that I have added here and which ones I have some money in. I got $1,000, big deal. And DKP, Panda, DCD, sitting here. You're probably familiar with exchanges. So Coinbase, and we're going to walk you through this, but on Coinbase, here's Internet Computer. I put $100 in today for this video. So that ICP is sitting on the Coinbase exchange. They control it. I don't. So when you hear someone talk about like a self-custody wallet, that means you take the ICP off the exchange and put it into a wallet. I control the wallet. It's like the difference between your money sitting in a bank versus your money actually in your wallet that's in your back pocket. Okay. So this is on an exchange. Now, you can send it, which we're going to do in a moment, over to ICPSwap. And they've got a wallet. It just so happens, it looks as if it's sitting on an exchange. This is where it gets a little confusing. It's not. It is in a canister and it is a self-custody. I think technically you would call it a self-custody canister wallet. So I just wanted you to understand that even though you might buy some ICP on Coinbase and send it over to ICPSwap, this is actually a self-custody wallet. There are 2 popular wallets. One is called Plug. You can look it up if you're interested, or Stoic. The moment we're just going to go over this because it's a lot simpler. So now you can forget everything else and let's just show you how to buy tokens. We're going to start with at Coinbase and we're going to send ICP here. Once we do that, you go over to swap and you can swap anything, but we're going to start with ICP because ICP is the only one of these projects I could purchase on Coinbase. So here it is. So I'm going to start by going in to this little wallet. There's ICP. And we're going to receive because we're going to receive it from somewhere else. We're going to copy the address. It says copy success. Yay. We're going to go over here to Coinbase. We're on the ICP page. Got almost $100. We're going to send crypto. Where are we going to send it? We're going to put in the address I've sent here before. We click it. It says how much USD or how much ICP do you want to send? Click this little down up. It switches to ICP. If you just want to send it all, you could say I want to send 1 ICP, whatever it is. Or you can just say max. So I'm going to send the max. It'll let me send. It's got 20 seconds, it says. Send now. I have to authenticate it. The authentication step, I think, is actually really good. because it's using the Google Authenticator that is on my phone, and I have to, it switches, every minute or so, or 10 seconds, whatever, and then type in the code, just another level of verification so someone doesn't hack your account and send your stuff out. So it says it's done. It said it would take 20 seconds. All right. So there it was. It literally took like 4 seconds. That was unbelievable. I just hit refresh and here it is. I already had a little bit in there. So what do I have? 129. I wish they'd use bigger font. I'm old. So now we have some ICP. Now that we have ICP, let's go over to, so all you do is just go over to swap. Now it says ICP. It's showing, because my wallet is connected, it's showing what I have. I have 21. That's the max. Looks like I can just slide this little ruler here, or I could just type it in there if I wanted to. So I'm going to go ahead and say max. Why not? It's just a, and then I want Origyn. So I think I can scroll down, but I'm going to type it in. I'm not going to get into all these different projects and what they are, but just to give you an idea. Oh, got to redo it. So what is it doing? It's taking my ICP and it's swapping it for Origyn. Why don't I just buy it with dollars? Because these swapping services, regardless of what they are, I don't have this. These don't hook up to your bank account and send money in. So I went to Coinbase, hooked up to my bank account. I just said, buy $100 of ICP. It bought it, took the money out of my bank account, took US dollars, turned it into ICP. And then took my ICP, and you saw the send receive, sent it over here. So here it is. I'm using the max. I'm going to buy this OGY, and that's how much I'm going to get. Click swap. It's going to say what you pay. It tells you what the fee is, slippage tolerance, minimum received, estimated transfer fee, really, really low transfer fee. This fee is only 0.06 of an ICP, which is their fee, and then a transfer fee. Okay. Confirm swap. So that took about maybe 10 seconds. Went through the steps. I didn't have to prove anything. It just went through them and showed me what it was doing. You can see here that now this swap is I have 0 of that and 44,000 of that. So now when we come back to the main wallet and we look at everything we have, it doesn't have the Origyn token showing up. So you might think, where did it go? Well, you can click here to sync your tokens and it will look in the wallet, see that we have some Origyn, and then show it on this screen. Or you can just add one, click here and add it manually. Now you can type it in, or you can just scroll down, scroll up or down and find it. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Origyn, OGY. We'll click it right here to add it. And then we just got to get out of this manually. And if we scroll down, there it is, Origyn. And you can see my balance, exactly what I have. That was it. Now let me explain. I know I talked a lot. I wanted to, one, emphasize how, a lot of people showed up for this ICP video. I think there's a great community out there. I wanted to give you a basic high-level understanding of what ICP does and how powerful it is. And then two, for those of you that didn't know about ICP, but if you already know about ICP, you probably know more than I do, so that bothered you, but that's okay. Then we looked at, well, if you're interested, what are the other projects they have? That's a whole nother video on the different projects. I just wanted to show you how simple it is to purchase some, for example, on Coinbase, and then send it to ICP, and then swap it for one of these other projects. So you can now, depending upon what project you may want, have a very easy, quick way of obtaining them. And I also wanted to point out that this isn't a centralized exchange like Coinbase. It is associating it with your internet, your ICP identity, internet computer identity. Therefore, it is a self-custody wallet sitting in a canister. And you don't have to use third-party wallets like the Stoic or the Plug if you don't want to. High level, hope that was helpful. Have a great day. As always, hope we can all make generational wealth together with crypto. I would greatly appreciate it if you liked the video, and I'd really appreciate it if you sent it out to other people you know. And take a look at my school community, link down below. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.